No, that's fun. But we're a little past on time. Just got a little heavy there into some gaming
Yep,
chat,
I saw
which I
that.
mean I'm down. I was gonna say I'm down to chat more gaming chat after as well. But I'm recording this session as so. First, want to give a welcome to everyone here for our weekly DAO VC. It's Drax TS, one of the co-founders from Famous Fox Federation. And for any one of you that's watching this on YouTube, because I do post these to YouTube, they should be up to date as of today. Um, if you wouldn't mind to click on the like and subscribe, it just helps kind of spread the word about the Foxes, and we kind of certainly appreciate the support we end up getting there. Albeit we don't have that large of a YouTube following as of yet, it just helps for people, I guess, to kind of go through and get quick snippets of, the updates and such that we have going on. And the one suggestion too that someone gave that I'd like to do in the not so distant future, I have to figure out an easy way, I'll say, to kind of like streamline it, would be to kind of create audio clips for the updates as we kind of push them out. And the one thing we've been talking about internally too was thinking about like shifting like double like announcements twice a week to once a week. I don't know how much people would kind of hate us for doing that, but that way it just makes life a little bit easier for us to kind of consolidate our thoughts. And we always push out like bigger updates, as they kind of come through. So if people have any thoughts or suggestions about that, certainly feel free to drop that in alpha or suggestions or really anywhere. I think when we initially talked about it, we said biweekly, and I think a lot of people thought that meant every other week. And for us, when we did it, we meant twice a week. So that might have just been confusion up front, but we just figured it might be a little bit easier to kind of consolidate things on our announcements, which also might kind of reduce some confusion for some people that aren't like that super active within our Discord, and so our announcements don't get super crazy. But having said that, we'll jump into our announcements that we've really gone through, or enhancements that we've done throughout this week. So, kind of starting off last week, the bigger quality of life updates. We've changed up the token market to provide stats. So that really was done from the Soul Sniper side. So they reached out to us earlier on, asking if we could kind of let them do like their data analysis piece, for their site. And we were more than happy to let them do it. I think there's certain trends and such that people can find in it. I think it might more so be useful, maybe for some specific utility tokens, but definitely for I'm sorry, for some specific whitelist tokens, but definitely for utility tokens, depending on the kind of events and things that are going on. It just kind of helps make I think people's lives a little bit easier to see the trends for those tokens. So shout out to them. Really, really appreciate the work they're doing there. And I know that it's further down in my announcements, but the change up for the token cards, that's probably one of the bigger graphical updates within our token market. So for those of you that were familiar with us in our old token market, where it would have a card for every single person that put a sell order out there, we modified it so that there's only a single card for that specific token, and then all of the orders are listed within that card. So when you're scrolling through or you're searching for a specific token, you're only ever going to find one card from the site. And when you click on that card, it opens up all of the orders that are for that specific token. So um, some people got confused that they didn't see their listings, and even though we did push like a pop-up that shows up when you go to sign in, I know for the most part people think those are like marketing, so they kind of close out of it. But we don't do marketing and such on our website, so that's that's a pop-up update that's important. If you see pop-up updates, they're going to be for important things. It's not going to tell you to sign up for our newsletter or something, or us to try to sell you a strainer, rice maker combination or something. So yeah, so just keep an eye out for those. And I know there's been some people that have posted that announcement or that pop up in a few different spots for folks that might not be too familiar with it. But if you have questions, feel free to drop a message in our token support channel, and tag token support. That's got a few people on it, so it's certainly helpful to kind of get quicker responses back to people, because we have some other folks that are helping us out with that. Um, as far as other quality of life updates goes, the Foxy sweep and Foxy list was actually updated. So that way, it does retry 3 times to ensure a success rate, based off of Solana's network issues that have been kind of intermittent. Um, we kind of just built out the contract so that way it tries it multiple times before failing. The main reason being is for those features, we have to charge Foxy first, before we actually do the utility, because if we do it the other way around, people can just ignore the fee, so they'll be able to do it for free indefinitely. So we charge it first, then you do the utility, and we've had to kind of do pushbacks for people to kind of get their money back, or else their Foxy back, because if it fails on the network, then there's no sense in you losing the Foxy. So we've updated that to try it 3 times. So hopefully people are having a better success rate with that. To my general knowledge, it's been working quite well. I haven't had any issues with it recently, but if you do have issues or questions, always drop them in Discord. That way we can kind of try to debug it, figure out what's going on if it's not Solana's network, and then kind of go from there. We also had updated Foxy Send to show the count of selected NFTs. So for that one specifically, it's just always been you click on them and they just have the check mark or they don't have the check mark. But now it at least kind of gives you a graphical number as to how many NFTs you're sending. So it might be helpful for people if you're doing 6 at a time, or you're doing them in batches of 6. So that way if you're only doing like one extra, or you're paying the extra Foxy just to send one NFT, versus like just sending it by itself, or waiting until you have 5 more that you want to send with it. So that was an update that we did, and we did change it up too. So the mission lore is also available. It's also viewable after starting the missions as well. So once it was locked up before, you couldn't click behind it because that lock was on top of that page. Um, and we've updated that, so now you can go ahead and you can check out the lore. I know people kind of enjoy them, even though they're just small little clippets of lore in there that just kind of make it a little bit more fun about the mission side. So I think those have been kind of neat. I'm genuinely curious. I think for the most part, people seem to be pretty happy with missions, from the feedback that I've been getting, and the stuff I've seen on crypto Twitter, every once in a while. So I really appreciate that. But yeah, if people have, feedback, constructive criticism, anything like that, feel free to reach out and let us know, because we're more than happy to kind of update things that we can. And we want to make it kind of like the best experience possible, for people going through, because it is a bit different. It's us kind of building, a gamified way of staking, and it's not going to be perfect, but we will keep improving it as time goes on for sure. We pushed out new missions, so those went live, and there was just different varieties between the attributes that we pushed out. Um, I believe we're still on track for tomorrow to do our first collab mission. So that's going to be with Kitten Coup, so Kitten Coup and Famous Foxes. I believe the attribute count for that, or the attribute set for that, for the trait type for foxes, is more common traits. So I believe it's let's see. I think we pushed it out there. Give me one quick second. I know it's further down the list. Actually, we did not put that on there. Yes, I did. Yep. Any cap, any shirt, any scarf, and any T-shirt, along with one Kitten Coup of any. So that's the attribute count for that. No, I'll jump down. I know there's a bit more to that as well, but I'll get into that in a little bit. And then we added in, so the one thing that's been going around for a long while is like, what kind of access do transdimensional foxes get within our Discord? Because you're buying an NFT, you're becoming part of a community, but you still kind of have the same access that like the public does. So we chatted a bit about it, and people were suggesting to have X amount of TFFs to be in the FoxyDAO, and we still think that there's kind of value to kind of keeping the at least the alpha channel being specific just for famous foxes. So what we did is we opened up the Federation chat within the FoxyDAO to include transdimensional fox holders. Those are verified through Matrica as pixel foxes, or foxy pixels, and just to give them, a little bit of an insight to kind of the things that go on within our alpha channel, or our FoxyDAO section specifically. It's really whatever people want to talk about in there. They're more than free to do so, but it's not just famous fox holders. It's also going to be the transdimensional side. And we held our February raffle. That was the end of last week as well. And we did 1-for-1 auctions that included the Burger Fox. So I know Alkine's in here who had gotten the Burger Fox, as well as give me one quick second here, as well as the worker, the fast food fox worker. I don't know how many F's you want to add onto it. Um, but those went up for 320K for the burger and 650K for the fox. So it's a total of 970K Foxy for those two. So huge shout out to Healy Mellon. Did a fantastic job creating those, and obviously people really enjoyed them as well. So huge shout out for creating those. And then we did our auctions as well, our NFT auctions for Foxy. So we had a mix of TFFs, FFFs, and a DGod, as well as a penguin. And we got quite a bit of Foxy. I think the total for it was 880K, if I'm not mistaken. And with that, it was just a sizable raise for us, and we were just pretty happy with it. We're pretty happy with the fact that the community was interested in all that kind of an auction setup, and we did that just to kind of give back to the community. Essentially, I mean, it's just being a way for us to kind of provide more of a burn, for our Foxy tokens. And so it's been quite fun to kind of see that, and we're happy that people are buying them. I mean, I think there's like the usual suspects, if you will, that end up getting those NFTs, but I mean that's what it's all about. I mean, there's just people that have more foxes, that have the desire to kind of buy into those NFTs, and whether they hold on to them to generate more Foxy, or they kind of flip them. I mean, that's really what raffles or auctions are kind of all about. So really, you get it, and you get to do with it what you want to do. The raffle that we had too, we had a lot of other NFTs in there. So we had one famous fox, two transdimensional foxes, two dens, a mortuary plot, mortuary minion. We did a rare turnip tiki, two omens of Olympus, two NFT graphics. We did 10 rare rooms, 5 epic rooms, 2 unique rooms, and then we did 25 of 20K Foxy. And we had just a crazy amount of NFTs to kind of give out there, which was pretty awesome. And I'll just give a shout out to all the winners. I don't want to go through. I mean, really, it's just addresses that we had posted out there. But again, another way for us to kind of give back, based off of the structure that we have created, with our Foxy ecosystem, if you will, and the way that we kind of generate that. So those are monthly. The raffles that we do in that structure that are monthly. So I'll put it out there where if anyone is part of a community that's interested in adding prizes to it, or anything along those lines, reach out to us. We'll come up with something, and we'll try and get some NFTs in there. More than happy to kind of give out more prizes to more foxes that are buying into those raffle tickets. So definitely appreciate that support for sure. I already went through the additional token market update. Den collabs, we did put out the Bitmon Den, so that just took a little while to kind of get exactly what we were looking for from the interior side of things. And then we have the one underway right now is Sea Shanties, which I believe is either done or almost finished. And DGods, we're still waiting to hear back on the specs that they're interested in. So we have a couple of other things in the pipeline in the meantime for the Den side, but we're definitely looking to kind of expand those kind of collaborative type of efforts that we can create there, especially for the interior side. So that way, folks that have Foxy that want to kind of support, I'll say support, but they want to kind of rep those other projects, they can certainly do so by buying into those interior rooms. And like I alluded to earlier, the next set of missions, which will be coming out tomorrow, I mentioned the collab mission, which includes Kitten Coup. As far as solo missions go, we have Thug Life classes, and then duo missions, we have our Centurion with the Centurion Den. We have two captains, which are the hat. So the captain hat is not the pirate hat, just so that people don't get confused. It's the white captain hat with the little anchor on it, and also the coats. So like Bronk's repping the red captain coat. We also have the black captain coat, which Sociosa has in our spaces. Then let's see what else we got. Our school shirt and school den, and then our mutated, which is also represented by Bronk. So he's definitely got the mission fox this week, and an alien den for that one. So that one's going to be a more desirable or more difficult to to enter into mission for sure. And then we have our Solana Fox with a BTC Fox mixed attribute mission, which should be kind of fun as well. So, definitely trying to kind of shake things up a little bit with kind of creating the missions, but also we want to kind of make sure we get more common missions built in, and we have some more offerings to kind of push out to the community. So that way, we're kind of building a whole bunch of missions that foxes can go and jump into, and it's not just based off of like owning just a crown fox or a FASA fox or something along those lines. So definitely expanding out our missions as best as we can, and it does take a decent portion of like work to kind of create them through. It's not like a simple copy paste and modify one thing here or there. So definitely looking forward to kind of expanding them in the not so distant future. And then the last announcement on here, which I was very impressed with the talent side of things in it, but we did a talent contest, which was more of a rap contest, I guess, or creating a Fox rap. And I think we had about 8 or 9 like solid submissions. Now they weren't all raps. Some people did like actual like songs and things, but for the most part, they were kind of done in like a rap style. They were fantastic. Like the level of effort that people put in was amazing, and I was genuinely impressed with the people that I'd created on there. So I certainly want to give a shout out, to everyone for doing that. I know it's not easy. It's a creative element. It takes time. We wanted to give a little bit of time for it. We didn't want to make it like a 48-hour contest. That's not fair for anyone. I don't think anyone could come up with, something like amazing. You probably come up with something decent, but yeah, just wanted to give a shout out to the folks that had participated, and when we did pick out the 3 winners. Well, I shouldn't say we. It was voted on for who had won that contest. But they're all still listed in our Foxy Talent Show section. So if anyone hasn't seen them and you're interested, like I said, they're pretty good. Definitely recommend jumping in there and checking them out. Give them a shout out on Twitter or something. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. But yeah, I'm always blown away by the talent side of things that Foxes seem to push out. I'll say randomly, but in this case, this was something that we kind of had developed to have Foxes participate in. So I'm always interested in seeing what people have to do there. Let me jump around for questions. I'll kind of open it up to Brink. I'm not sure if there's anything that I had missed that you wanted to comment on, or anything in general that you have going on right now. Yeah, I think Buns is right.
Spaced out. I was on the spaced out side of things just now.
You're spaced out.
Nothing specific. I think everybody is still taking time to enjoy missions a lot. Missions have been a lot of fun. They're super engaging. Actually, you didn't mention this. Somebody actually chest pulled one of those. It's like a merch token.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that.
So there you go. I'll hand that back off to you. Then you can talk about the merch token.
Yeah. Thanks. Yes. So someone did pull a merch token from one of the missions. So I'll just kind of double back on the mission loot themselves. I mean, for the most part, it's Foxy. It's more Foxy than if you were to just stake your foxes. But we did add in the ability for you to get den rooms, anywhere from the common to the unique tier on a rare percentage basis. And then we also added in, on a rarer basis, the ability to get merch, anything between a shirt, a hoodie, a mug, I believe the poster, the NFT graphics posters, and I'm probably missing something else in there. And then we also added in an even rarer chance to get a famous fox, transdimensional fox, or a den, through the actual mission. So as part of that loot, so someone pulled, I believe, a hoodie merch, and it's been my goal this weekend to get that design created with the help of Brink and some others to get some feedback on, to kind of create something that we kind of push out, and it's really going to be exclusive to folks that win those merch tokens for now, and then once I kind of get that rolling, then we'll get more into, like, I'll say, like, official merch. I know people have been asking for a while about, trying to get something on the more official side. I think for the most part, people have been. I know they've been getting the shirts done from, I believe it's Jay on Twitter. Um, and then there's also some people that order things, online from other platforms, and then of course the NFT graphics. And I believe Sanguine Biscuits um, was also doing sweatshirts for a subset of folks. I'm not 100% sure. And then the other thing worth mentioning from, like, the merch side, not that it's like official merch or anything, but we did get, the one, Rich Class Decor had created a fox, like, rug not terribly long ago, and I think he posted it a couple of times just to kind of see what people were, like, interested in, if they were interested in at all in buying it. And I don't know how much feedback they got, but then they were, like, asking us if we could kind of, like, push it out to see if there is interest in, like, a pricing point. I think it's around $100 US to buy if you were interested in, but I think they need a minimum order of 100 of them. So I think that might be quite tricky to kind of get for, like, a bid in for it. Um, but it's worth mentioning if folks are interested in that, like, rug style. I would say to let me know, or maybe I'll see what makes sense for me to kind of push out, like, I'll say a vote or something like that. I don't want to do it in official DAO voting because I don't want it to just kind of sit there, but I wouldn't mind pushing it some other place that we can get feedback on it, just to kind of see what people say. But yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Brink. I forgot that happens, and I should have mentioned it too. I just know that I don't believe they've claimed it yet. I don't think they've sent it over to us, or we might not have told them the exact instructions. It's worth mentioning for those tokens that we'll put a more official, like, word out for it. But uh, the process for is we'll have a form for you to just fill out and send that merch token when you get it back to us, and then just send, I believe, myself, your, like, shipping information. So I mean, you'll have to semi docs. We don't need, like, a name and all that, but that would be the only way that we can get merch to you that's not like a NFT graphics or something like that. So just as a heads up, I'm not, if people are comfortable with that. If you're not comfortable with that, we'll try and figure out maybe some other arrangement. But hopefully, folks are comfortable enough to kind of send us that information to kind of get those kinds of prizes. It's not going to be, a crazy amount of them that we're going to be giving out. Well, over time it will be, but not from the get go. And I see Regan joined us up here. How's it going, Regan?
What's up, man?
Not much. What's going on with you?
Nothing much. Just hanging out with friends, taking it light this weekend. You?
Nah. Yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah, I saw Munz commented earlier that 8 p.m. on a Saturday isn't ideal. So maybe next Saturday I'll try and find a different time of day. It works easier for me because our baby goes to bed around 7, so that way it gives me a little bit of free time before, and then being able to jump into this for for a bit. I'll say for an hour, however long we really end up going. But yeah, it's good to hear. I'll open up for questions too. I mean, if anyone has questions from Discord, I don't see anything else in Alpha. I should check Fox Chat just to see if anybody has any questions. We have been adding to. I'll give a shout out to Brink for adding in like the little graphic pieces for like FFF versus TFF, and I think there's one too that has dens on it. That's been kind of helpful for just throwing that out there for people that are asking questions about certain things. I'd like to get. I know we've been talking about it for a little while too, but like some graphics kind of like that around like the utility tools that we have, and kind of get that all set up on our website in a decent like fashion, so that way kind of you know gives people a good bit of information around the tools. We did have an update. I should mention that too. We did have an update on our website. For those of you that haven't been on our website recently, if you click on the menu, you'll see a small description for each of the things that are in the menu. So that was just kind of an enhancement to make life a little bit easier for folks that might be brand new, or they're trying to look for something specific but they might not know the term for it. So now you can kind of look for like the short description, if you will, for that specific page, um, which I think is helpful for navigation, and I've seen some good feedback on it so far. Um, so definitely appreciate that, and again, constructive feedback, we'll take that as well. So if there's anything that you guys don't like, or if there's something that we can kind of change or improve, again, we're always willing and open to listen. But I'm not seeing any questions coming through. So I don't know if you guys want to chat about anything else in particular going on this week with NFTs.
There's a couple interesting mints that happened this week.
Yeah, I was gonna say the ones today. Was 6 rings today, or was that yesterday?
6 rings was either yesterday or the day before.
Okay.
For the Air project, which
decent.
is Michael Jordan Jr.
Yeah.
Or his name's not Michael Jordan Jr. What is it? He's the junior for all intents and purposes, though.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not a big sports guy. This might surprise a lot of people in here.
Sports ball.
But unfortunately, I'm not a big sports guy.
That's all right. Sports and celebrities don't have the best track record with NFT endorsements.
Yeah, I mean, but there's I think we all have a previous history to NFTs. So,
God damn it, Trey Songz, not again.
But yeah, what was the mint today that went nuts? The Nighthawk or Hawksite.
Hawksite was today, and Solana Storm was today.
Yeah, and Solana Storm.
The boy Frank's Solana Storm mint was today. Also.
Yeah, the mustache himself.
Yeah, Hawksite went a little crazy.
Hawksite went nuts.
Yeah, the mustache himself.
Yeah, Hawksite went absolutely nuts. I almost debated about getting one on secondary. I completely whiffed on the mint. I'm fairly sure I was whitelisted for it, and I just had other things going on. But yeah, that's been doing pretty well. I think it's also a pretty big win for Foxes. I think we got about 50 people on that whitelist, so hopefully there were a good amount of people that were able to mint that and do pretty decent with it.
What's this Ty Lopez?
Oh yeah, to that point too. Oh, sorry, Reagan. To that point too, if you guys did get a win from like a whitelist or something from Foxes, put that in the Alpha Wins channel just to flex on the haters a little bit. And we can celebrate with you. We can shoot some confetti and some balloons.
You're too funny, but yeah, I forgot.
Ask you for a loan, slide in the DMs.
How long ago was that created? That Alpha Winds? It's been like a month, right? Maybe.
Yeah, it's been out for a little while at this point.
Yeah, it's been out for a little while. But yeah, I always love to see that. I love to see the trolls too that'll post in there, like how about Alpha's lost channel. They'll post something that they lost onto. I mean, there's going to be losses, so there's nothing wrong with also showing losses. But yeah, I totally agree with Brink. If you've had a decent win from something you've gotten from Alpha, definitely show some love there. And Regan, I'm not sure of the Ty Lopez thing. I honestly haven't heard of it. Do you have any other details?
I'm just seeing on my timelines. It's like something about a reverse Dutch auction. Like the price goes up for some reason. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I was wondering if you guys heard anything about it. It seems like just a giant scam.
Yeah, I mean, eventually it's going to get to a point where no one's going to buy it, right? If the price keeps going up, like that's strange. There was a BSC coin that I bought into last year called Goes Up Higher. I don't know if anyone had heard of it. It was fairly complicated. Um, yeah, that's dumb, Scooby. Scooby just said 11 ETH to hang out with him. That's crazy. You can hang out with me for a lot less than 11 ETH if you want to. Um, but anyway, it goes up higher. The basic way that it worked is that every 4 hours it had a rebase, and if the current price of the token was higher than a mark price, then nothing would happen to supply. But if the current price was lower than the mark price, then the supply would get cut by whatever that percentage is. So the main goal was to try and keep the value increasing on the token, and their main objective was to get one token to be worth, or the token price to be worth more than a Bitcoin, I think by like 10% or something like that. And then that's when the mark price would stop moving, and it would just kind of, the price of the token would fluctuate. I mean, you can imagine over time it just became a total shit show because it went from like 4 million supply on the token down to like literally one. I think there's only one of them left now. But it did, the price did get up pretty good. It got up above a Bitcoin for a little while. Um, but the main problem was that they kept axing supply. So if you had this token in your wallet from the BSC side, they would reduce your supply by that percentage. So some people, if they bought a million tokens off the bat, I mean, it just kept getting axed and axed and axed as the price of the token was below the mark price on this thing they were doing. So it was very interesting. But that's the crazy way of me saying that was the first time that I'd seen a pricing action that I'll say is similar to your reverse auction pricing, which is interesting to hear about.
Come on, help Ty out. He needs a new garage.
I saw something in the contract. I'm trying to find the tweet now, but it's like in the minting contract, it like sends it straight to his wallet ASAP instead of like later. Like it doesn't go to like the mint wallet and then they're gonna move it to their wallets later to get the royalties. Like it sends the royalties first and then, or to the project owners, and then it puts it in its own wallet, which seems a little weird.
Yeah, that sounds super sketch.
What, they're doing it off chain or something? Like when you win the auction, you don't get the NFT settled.
What, they have to send it to you?
No, I think it's like the percentage. I don't know. Let me try to find this tweet one sec. That way I'm not just talking on my ass.
I mean, it's not completely infeasible for something like that to exist.
I'm sure they did it in such a stupid way to try to sound innovative and trick people in.
Yeah, that's been my favorite thing recently is people that send me roadmaps that they want to seem innovative, but then when you like break it down into its actual pieces and parts, it makes no fucking sense. Like it's just a hot mess. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. What other mints? I mean, Yaku's been pretty popular recently too for Solana. For their initial mint that they did, and I think they had another one today. I think an X
Yeah,
capsule or something
the
like that.
capsules, and then there's like the bikes or whatever. And I suppose, well, not from what I know of it, you need a capsule and a bike to qualify for whatever the next NFT is. God, explaining some of
That's
this stuff sounds like just Mr. Potato Head. Yeah, you gotta get the ears and the nose, plus a mouth and legs, and then you get your potato head.
well, you need
And then
Baltic
you
and
can breed your
Pacific
potato heads
Avenue
for
in order
Gen
to
2
build a
potato heads.
hotel. It's basically Monopoly.
Yeah. It's just gamified, man.
Gamified, and you get an NFT for it.
Actually, a
That's
good idea. When we doing the Mr. Potato Head NFT, you have to individually get all the pieces. Once you do, you can breed your potato heads together with a Mr. and a Mrs. Potato Head for Gen 2. We're on to something here.
there was an ETH project, something Rocket Factory, something where they had 3,000 pieces in the collection, and it was a tail, a body, and a tip for a rocket. And their whole spiel was you had to buy the components for the rocket. You could assemble it and like basically merge, like fuse the pieces together to make a rocket. And then what they would do is they would actually like, physically make that like model rocket, and they'd shoot it off for you. And I don't remember if they like filmed it or something, but like you got like proof that it existed, or like the mission was launched or something like that. But it was like such a goofy thing. I know it still exists, and I don't really know how popular it is from like a pricing side of things or from a volume stance. But
Interesting.
I thought that was an interesting concept. Where I mean, basically, like you're saying, you can do the same thing, right? With like a Mr. Potato Head, and you can 3D print, the individual parts, and actually make the Mr. Potato Head and send it to people if they wanted to have it. So there's
Stuff
a
about that though is just
there's a
it
million
reminds me.
dollar project idea right there.
Yeah, well, it reminds me of what the original Gecko team was planning to do with the spaceships, which ended up being like the breaking point for everybody in that community to be like, all right, dude, something's got to change here, is because they were going to charge all this money for all these different parts of a spaceship and then put them together. Stuff like that is cool because it's, you can like craft your own NFTs or whatever. But when you put a price on that as a creator, and it's in essentially like hundreds or thousands of dollars for, and it just doesn't make sense. That's one thing. But if you were to realistically do something as stupid as like a Mr. Potato NFT, if you did it for free or like super cheap, I think that would be a little bit better because it's more fun. It's more of like a BronkDAO style than an obvious cash grab an approach.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could do it for mega cheap, and then
Yeah,
like
you could do it in
yeah,
your
and
free
then
time.
yeah, and then but you could, I mean, you could add a cost to it for like the merging side of things too. You know what I mean? Like you could still add like a costing, because like you still would have like if you're physically going to get a thing, like there's still going to be a cost associated to that and a time element. So
Yeah, by all means, cover your costs to make it, but don't be like
yeah.
an obvious cash grab about it. That's
No,
just
no. It's not going to be like a $300 Mr. Potato Head, or even like a
yeah.
$150 Mr. Potato Head, or whatever two soul is. Like that's too much for Mr. Potato Head. But maybe like one soul or something like that. Be
Just
pretty
DAO,
unique enough.
just DAO conversations. The Mr. Potato Head NFT coming soon.
You got Silver wanting to come up too to chat. What's Silver got going on?
There he is.
What up, guys? How are you?
Hey.
I just wanted to see what's up with the rugs, the actual merch. Sorry, not actual rugs.
Wait, for the merch or
No,
not the
for the
merch?
merch. Yes, for the merch.
Oh, for the
Yes.
merch. Yeah. So I'll push a thing out. I wanted to just kind of see if people are interested in like purchasing them. It's a guy that created them, not affiliated with us. We wouldn't get any kind of kickback or anything for them. They just wanted to kind of create them to kind of see if people had an interest for them in the space as kind of, I guess, like a trial run. I think the only challenge is the fact that I think their minimum order is 100. I did ask them if they could do it as like a drop shipping model. That way, like they handle the logistics side, and I think they can. But I just believe that it's anywhere between 90 to 100 US dollars to purchase one. So I don't know how much interest there may or may not be within the Discord community to get them, but I'll push it out just to kind of see if there is any interest in folks.
I think the merch stuff with relation to the NFT space is going to be a lot easier and more manageable when Solana Pay is more integrated with platforms.
I
I
agree.
was
We're
just
not
going
to
to say
point
that too.
yet. Yeah, we're not to that point yet. If for somebody, and I think there was rumors of, not rumors, I think there was an actual landing page for Shopify to do some sort of NFT platform. And they already have their ducks in a row as far as managing the commerce part of that whole thing. But yeah, when you get to a checkout and you can pay in Solana for something,
Yeah.
that is just going to be a rocket ship for
Yep.
the company that does that right.
Yep.
Because you look at, that's the problem too. And one of the things I realized, it's not really a problem, it's a realization with Solana in general and just crypto. You understand that there's a US value to it or whatever, like your currency is tethered to it. But when you're to the point of like 0.5 Solana or 1 Solana, it really doesn't seem like a lot.
Right.
So you're willing to easily throw that stuff around. That's why all these mints happen. And it's like, oh, cool, 1 Solana? That's only 1 Solana. And then realistically, it could be up to like whatever the all-time high for Solana was $250 at this point.
Yeah,
But yeah, Solana Pay is going to be huge.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, and it's interesting to kind of see some of the communities that are
I
trying
accidentally
to.
muted everybody. Sorry.
Oh, how dare you! Wait, does that mute me too, or no?
No, it was just
Everyone just rugs everyone else. Yeah, no, I was going to say that it's interesting kind of seeing some other communities that are working on building Solana Pay into like a merch side. I don't think anyone's done it yet, but I think some folks are getting pretty close to it.
I think the first one to put out a way to actually pay for things like with credit card was Desolates. I think they did some of their mint through credit card, if I remember that correctly.
They did their mint through credit card?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so if you didn't have Solana, you could mint a Desolate with a credit card. They used some third-party platform, but it was kind of dope.
No, that is extremely dope. But very very scary for folks that are using a credit card to mint an NFT. I do not condone that.
Anybody have any successful mints this past week?
I have
minted
not.
a Solana Storm.
Yeah, I minted some Solana Storm myself as well, but outside of that, I have not minted anything else this week. How about yourself, Silver? Did you get anything?
Yeah, I got the Debonair Degen Hawks and Air.
Nice.
And Air is sitting at a pretty about 10 floor right now.
Nice. Congrats.
What's Air?
The Michael Jordan project.
Like what you breathe?
Oh. I got you.
The project's called Six Rings on Magic Eden.
Yep. We talked about Six Rings earlier. I forgot that it's referred to as Air.
I think the TLDR is like club access to your favorite athletes is the approach I think they're going for.
Pretty much.
So you don't directly get anything from owning the NFT, but you have access to get the things because it's like a club gating type of thing for. I don't know who they've onboarded yet as far as their athletes. I saw like Lonzo Ball is an investor or something in the platform and a couple others. I would say I'm a little bit more confident with it being Michael Jordan's name because he definitely wouldn't want to put the Jordan brand on anything that was not going to be good for PR. But yeah, generally, I didn't pick any up, but I'm happy that you got a win on that.
Oh yeah, man. Well, it's also part of like the Looks Rare Studio kind of stuff. So I've learned don't bet against Doc Hollywood. So anything he comes out with, Best Bud, sounds rare, Air, it's all just gonna moon.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, Mike is trying to speak. Oh, there you go. You got him.
Yeah, I added him up.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
Howdy.
FFF.
Chilling. Just heading home from the market.
Mid-boss fight right now.
Lose y'all. I might get rugged, because I'm on sell. But I had a pretty good day after like 2 kind of hard weeks in the NFT world. Had a lot of red in my ledger, and then got a decent mint on Yaku last night. Sold that for 12, and then I got the second level, Premier on Hawks. sold that for 10, and got out on my Yaku bike on a slight profit too. So I'm pretty stoked.
Nice.
That's awesome. What's your Discord name?
MF777.
Yeah,
DMing
MF777.
you.
Right on.
No,
That's
that's
a joke.
yeah,
That's a joke that went over everyone's head. I was going to ask for money. Carry on. Congratulations.
I thought you were gonna tell him to go and post an alpha wins.
Oh yeah, that too.
I will.
I thought you were trying to
Well.
send him a FoxyDAO invite for a second.
Oh, buddy. Those don't go out
I'm-
to just anybody. But you can buy them on the
Luckily,
Foxy Mark for 2,000 Foxy coin.
Luckily, I'm already in BronkDAO and BertDAO. Ooh.
The ever elusive BertDAO.
Yeah, I'm happy to be in BertDAO.
Oh.
Oh
Mama,
yeah,
I'm gonna make it.
I don't know if anybody's even bought one yet. There are 5 Bronc tokens listed on the Foxy token market for 2,000 Foxy each.
Hey,
So don't
Drax,
all go rushing there at once.
Drax, I wanted to ask, with the volume coming in through the token marketplace, where is that money going towards? Where is that Solana going?
Yeah, that's been primarily going towards like the dev team side of things.
Okay.
Essentially as like a supplement to really like the royalty side that we've been generating. But yeah, like that just helps out like the support side that we have for the token market and all that, because it does require like debugging and all that kind of fun stuff. It's not a self-sustaining model in there, and it's quite a manual process for us to kind of get in there. I know Socioso was in here. I think he might have dipped out. He could certainly sympathize with that. But yeah, that's where the fees really have been going for that. But I did also get a question from Make It a Good One, who I do know is in here, which is a good question. So on here, they put here for Twitter Spaces, there was a discussion yesterday in Alpha about why foxes dump after every pump and only pump on news. And someone on crypto Twitter said lack of cohesive vision for what we're doing. And then their question is, do you think that there's any truth to that? And if not, what do you see as the longer term vision for foxes to be? I said that all of our tools point to an NFT trading game. That's a really good question. Make it a good one. So as far as like the cohesive vision side of things, I think like that's been like fairly developed from the utility side with what our tools actually are for our community, and I think kind of the bigger way to look at it, as far as I'm concerned, in the Solana ecosystem, is just trying to make people's lives easier without costing them all of the Solana they have in their wallet at the same time to do so. And like with that, I basically mean, there's a lot of tools that we have that essentially, other projects can create or have created where it's going to charge you, Solana to do the same thing. Their tool might be better, it might not be. It really kind of depends on your certain angle for how the tool itself is developed and used. But having said that, there's a lot of value in being able to actually do things that do make your life easier, whether it's like bulk sending NFTs, if it's sending someone a message, to try and get, something they have that you want. I see that constantly in Discord communities. So, I try to advocate for people to kind of, get onboarded onto using those tools. It's the same thing for using our sweep feature and such. So like the larger vision for us really is to kind of just keep providing these, improvements for quality of life in Solana. As kind of the needs develop for them, and it's going to cost our Foxy token to get there. On the sidelines of it, at the same time, you can have fun by doing missions. You can stake your foxes to earn Foxy. And if you want to do something else with a token, you're more than welcome to do something else with a token. So that's kind of my I'll say an elevator pitch really for it. But there are things that we're getting into that I would say like aren't necessarily like roadmap ideas that people have kind of reached out to us about. Not to go like into too much alpha and stuff, but I'm sure a lot of people saw like the Ethernet 3D maze game thing that they had going on there that they've created a Fox for, and we've gone back and forth to kind of refine and improve that Fox model a bit since then. But yeah, I mean, definitely open to kind of adapting as we kind of see the current meta adjusting into this space for something that seems a bit more favorable for Foxes to get into. So I would kind of challenge the mindset between like other projects that are just pumping because they're new versus like actually having a thing. So like that's I think a struggle that we're always going to deal with. And it's just constant delivery and meeting expectations and if not exceeding them. It's kind of our primary goal for providing value out to our community. And I think it gets spoken to from the tools that we already have, but also in a lot of the spaces that I've attended at least recently. Most most other people kind of do, I'll say, a better job shilling foxes than I do shilling foxes, just because of the way that like one way or another we've kind of helped their project out, if it's through like our Foxy swap, or some other utility, or them getting their utility token launched on our marketplace. It's kind of been, I'll say, like kind of all over the place for how we're kind of trying to help the rest of the ecosystem, and ultimately it kind of falls back onto Foxes for how they'll kind of improve over time. And the point here too for like pumping on news and dumping. I mean, technically, I'll say this is probably like the second time. I mean, it's technically the second time that we've hit like a 13 Solana floor since mint. But the initial pump was like right out the gate, whereas this one's been over the course of 4.5 months, almost 5 months, to kind of get to that same level. So I think it's two completely different levels of price action, in my personal opinion, for what we're kind of currently seeing. And to the same point, we've had 80% of Foxes staked for a few months. So I wouldn't fault anyone for taking a little bit of profits if they wanted to off the table. If they've been with our project for an extended period of time, I would recommend it to other people. If you're minting a project, mint 3 of them, sell one of them for double, sell the second one for whatever you want, and then hold on to the third as long as you want. So or buy a shit ton more of them and, and potentially hope that it rockets.
The 31 method.
Yeah, the 31 method. Exactly. I think it just kind of makes sense.
So the reason I brought up the where the money for the white the token marketplace was, I was wondering if we can kind of improve upon our raffle system, and get like more. I don't want to like more blue chip potential projects and start raffling those off. Like we did with Pesky, and I think we did a D God as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
D God and Pesky were in there.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that those were great ideas, and I don't know how much of this is in the DAO wallet, but if we can do more projects that are more expensive, that'd be kind of cool too.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing against it. I think part of the challenge is just kind of making sure. I mean, I think the important thing is to kind of give, I would say, out to more winners versus like a larger to one person. Like that's kind of the way that I would see it.
That makes sense. Yes, that makes sense too.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with having like one solid prize from it. But again, like us being kind of more on like the community focused side of things, I'm definitely interested in increasing that. If that's something that people are interested in. I think our auction prior to this, we did 2 TFFs, 2 famous foxes. So this one's 2 TFFs, 2 famous foxes, a pesky and a D God. Who knows what the next one's going to have. Well, that was for the auctions specifically. You said raffles. I'm not sure if you meant auctions or raffles.
Yeah, I meant the raffles would be kind of cool. I mean, just because it brings more value. And with auctions, the issue is if you're a whale, you have a higher chance, and if you're not someone who doesn't have as much foxes, you get priced out so quickly.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you on that. And that's how I think I mean, that's the idea of auctions, right? but yeah, I mean, with our last raffle, let me see, as far as NFTs go, yeah, I mean, we probably, maybe the next one we'll look at throwing a little bit more in there. I mean, from an NFT side, we had Famous Fox, 2 TFFs, 2 Dens, Mortuary Plot, Mortuary Minion, Rare Tiki, 2 Omens of Olympus, and I believe that was it for NFTs. So yeah, definitely can look at adding a little bit more to the monthly raffle next month for sure.
To his point about the auctions, though, touching on that, so that happened for the first Foxy auction where Waywin came in and basically set whatever he wanted to pay for the Chaos Fox, because he was the only one that had that many foxes at the time. But I think the recent winners have all been essentially people that have just acquired a lot of Foxy one way or the other, rather than having just a bunch of foxes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think for the auctions that we did last time, I believe there were 3 or 4. I don't know if it was. I think it might have, it's either 3 or 4 like unique winners from all from the 6 that were out there. So that's spread. I mean, it's spread thinnish, if you will. I mean, it's not 6 of 6, but 4 of 6 isn't bad either. But that's also, I mean, to Brink's point, there is, Foxy can be acquired in other ways. So there are people out there that will, trade to that or bid to that pricing as well. So that's just one thing to kind of consider in general. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a whale if you kind of have an understanding with the way the market itself kind of works too. Then you can, also use that to your advantage for things like the auction.
Right. And then we won't post Foxy on the token marketplace because 1 Foxy equals 1 Foxy, correct?
That is correct, yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's people probably look at it as being really dumb because a lot of other projects are just doing whatever the fuck they want. But we're just trying to kind of keep that separation of church and state. You know what I mean? Like from our team side of things, like we'll just let the community go ahead and tell you, where you can get it. And I know it sounds silly, and we've had people reach out and they're like, why don't you just post it on your website, or why don't you just post it here or there? And it's just, we're just trying to fly a little bit safer, than what other projects are. We're not saying that it doesn't exist out there. We're just, saying 1 Foxy equals 1 Foxy, and just trying to leave it at that. And even then, it's a struggle. So, interesting stuff to say the least. But yeah, I mean, we just broke an hour. I don't want to jump on any soapboxes for too long, but I'll still open up if there are any questions, and if not, maybe some last thoughts, and we'll kind of close it out from here. And I'll let you guys get back to the rest of your weekend, if you will. So I guess we'll start off backwards and work our way down. Regan, I see you as the furthest on my right. You got any final thoughts? Anything on your mind?
Oh man, let's see. What's my words of wisdom? I don't know. Maybe don't buy Ty Lopez's NFT. That's what I'm gonna go with.
Wait, I bought 2.
No.
It depends on what price you get them for.
I put 3 tweets. If that wasn't enough to scare you guys off, then y'all are fucked.
Thanks for that, Regan. Appreciate it. How about you, Silver? What do you got? Any final thoughts?
Shit. What I said in the beginning, just don't bet against Doc Hollywood. If you're looking for NFTs outside of utility of just straight DeFi, staking, token earning, look into like Best Buds, the Famous Foxes, Air, or let me know. I can hit you guys up. Send you a list.
No, it sounds good. I like that. How about you, Brink? What do you got going on? Words of wisdom.
5 Bronc tokens available, limited time only. Fox Token Market 2000 Foxy. Get it while supplies last.
Yo, what do I get if I get one of these tokens? Pitch me.
You get 1 Bronc token.
Can you pitch me the utility?
There is no utility, only Bronc.
I'm in.
Well, what a salesman. I love it.
Oh, and I'm about to go watch Batman, so I'll tell you guys how it is.
Nice.
No spoilerino.
Yeah, no spoilers, but hope you enjoy. Yeah, I mean, from my side, I'll give my general security side of things. I think the market's been, not the greatest, but not the worst at the same time recently, of recent weeks. But for anyone that's new to the space, just be sure to create a burner wallet. If you're minting something or connecting to a new site for the first time that requires you to use your wallet, I actually suggest that too for people that have never used our token market before, so that way they can see it. I tell them to use a burner wallet. I just think it's good security practice for folks. Um, Outside of that, then someone's trying to buy an NFT off you for DevNet funds, just send them over to Brink. Brink will mess around with them for sure. But don't accept DevNet money for NFTs for real. It's fake money that folks can use on the DevNet side of things for testing out the Solana network to make sure it's working the way that they need to for tools they are building. And the last thing really is just comes down to just general community. If you have a question, situation, something that's going on that you want advice on, just pop into the Fox Discord or really whatever other crypto Discord that you're familiar with, something that's got like a decent following to it. And just ask questions. Ask questions, and you'll find people that will be more than happy, to help you out, kind of navigate through a specific situation. Including P2P. There's a lot of platforms out there, including FoxySwap, that allow you to kind of P2P safely, and it doesn't cost much. I'm more than happy to provide the Foxy for you. And if there's a collection that's not verified that you are trading against or trading for, just let us know. If it's something that we can add in there, we'll add in there just to make your life easier and just to provide a bit more security to the space. And with that, 5 minutes over.
I was just gonna say, and if you have any real questions, just go ahead, tag FoxyDAO. He loves to get tagged in chat. So
do not tag Foxy. I'm gonna have to cut that out of this too when I post it on YouTube, just so he doesn't get mad at me. But but no, I appreciate everyone hanging out with us, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. I look forward to pushing out our missions tomorrow, and keep an eye out for our Kitten Coo collab mission. So you guys have a good weekend, and I'll catch you later.